be terrified of getting something that big done.
Wow, yeah.
That has to be redone every 10 years, because what happens if you're not as financially stable in 10 years? Would you do just to not have teeth?
Right,
at
true.
all?
That's so
I
true.
would rather have my snaggle tooth than no teeth.
Right. Oh my God.
10 years of gorgeous teeth, but then no teeth? That's a good would you rather. Would you rather have 10 years of amazing teeth, but then after that you might not have any teeth, who knows? Or would you rather just deal with your snaggle teeth?
I would deal. I'm on your side.
I'm going to deal.
I would deal for sure.
Same with boobies.
100%. Same with boobies.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
And Tom Schwartz looks terrible again. My God. They made him look like Edna Mode with the glasses.
He's not an attractive woman.
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
It is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And we said something different this time.
That's why I flinched a little when
I
you're
know.
like,
I watched your eyes.
Yeah.
If you guys are seeing the YouTube version, I was just mentioning to Keeley that she looks so bronzy and golden. And she's in Idaho. Is it still cold there?
Yeah, it's a little chilly this week, yes.
It's in the 90s here. And I am a ghost. I am, as I said, haunting our podcast. Because I have no color to me. I literally I didn't buy it. I made Matt buy it. I got tanning stuff, like the foam.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet because I'm afraid of ruining my sheets.
Dang.
But I'm going to try that this weekend because I would like to wear shorts and I would like to not blind people. So we're going to try that for the first time.
Yeah. Do it early in the morning. And then maybe by the time you go to bed, right, you have had whatever, 8 hours, 10 hours on your...
Not rolling around in my...
On the bod, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so we have a few things to talk about. Less than last week, though. Look at us. So I think we're going to focus on just our favorite reality shows that we're watching right now. And of course, they're all Bravo. But we've got Real Housewives of Rhode Island happening. We have The Valley happening. And we also have Boat Show. We're watching Below Deck Down Under.
Yes.
You know what's coming back, though?
No.
Below Deck with Aisha and Captain Sandy.
Okay.
I think I said that in the wrong order.
Okay.
I think you should say the captain first, probably.
Okay.
But I love Aisha.
Okay.
Have you watched Aisha?
No. Don't know these people. Okay.
She is a maniac. Although she just got married but she used to talk about her poops. She was a stew and now she's a chief stew.
Okay.
But she's, I think, from New Zealand. She's a very heavy accent, and she's just yelling all the time.
Oh.
She always goes, "That's amazing!" Like that. She does that a lot. Very high energy, so that will be exciting. And Joe. I think it's Joe. Remember the guy? And he was fucking around with stews, and they were going back and forth with him. Shit, do you know Joe? Did you watch the one where there was the bosun and it was his first time being bosun and he really just wanted his old girlfriend to come back on the boat and then Gail, and then she did, and then you find out that he got her pregnant at the end of the season? Maybe that sounds super remotely familiar. Steve probably watched it. Yeah. So they're coming back.
Okay.
And then these two guys, the bosun and his lead deckhand, who is Joe, who's fucking around with all the girls. Ellie was one of the girls 2 seasons ago for him previously that he was fucking around with and causing all sorts of problems with.
I'm sure she dealt really well.
He was the one with V. Remember V?
Yes.
Okay.
These
guys are coming back.
Okay.
It's gonna be a good season. I'm excited about it. It's always good. Boat Show always turns out to be really good. And then And this season of Boat Show, Down Under, is maybe one of my faves.
Okay.
So let's just start there. Because
perfect. Let me flip to my notes.
Holy shit. This was high drama. Watching Jenna completely implode.
Right.
You and I have been Jenna apologists.
Oh, sure.
This whole time.
Absolutely.
And there's this part of me that I kind of still am, but I'm also like, she having her full flip out at Eddie, and then also at Ben being like, I'm done. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. We're just going to be friends and professional on the boat. And then she's like, Eddie, how dare you show him our private text messages. I'm sorry, Eddie had I'm on Team Eddie on that. Eddie's allowed to show. He's sharing a room with Ben. And she's going after Ben.
Yeah.
If I was Ben, I'd want to know.
But Ben, also, I agree with what Batul said. Eddie, karma's a bitch. When Eddie and Alicia, and he was texting Alicia going, can't stop thinking about you.
It's this like full circle moment.
Yes.
We weren't happy with Eddie. I'm not happy with Jenna. They're both being these immature idiots, which it's because their brains are still growing.
Yes.
Batul, still a queen, walking around, meow, 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 oblivious to what's going on.
Right.
Just working hard, totally positive.
Right.
I love her so much.
Yes.
But as Jenna's like freaking out, and then the next day she like goes and gets into bed with Ben, which by the way, Ben constantly in the primary suite or whatever it's called, cabin.
Nobody's saying anything about it.
It feels inappropriate.
Yeah.
It feels like not okay.
Well, it feels entitled. Like he feels like he should have that over everybody. Why I should have this. I'm sorry, but why should you, sir? I don't.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
don't understand. It's weird.
And it's not like he's making the bed after, I don't think.
No.
I'm surprised that Daisy's like clearing it. I think she said yes a couple times, so now he's decided he gets to.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ugh. And then she gets into bed. She apologizes. He changes his mind and ends up kissing her. And then Eddie, you idiot, walking around, opening up doors, looking for her to check on her.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it feels good, but like, Eddie is drama. Eddie thinks that he's just like this sad puppy dog in love who's had his heart broken.
And you're not falling for it.
No.
Okay.
Eddie, it's not that. I just think that he's actively participating in creating the drama for himself. Yeah. And again, I don't think he really likes Jenna. I think he likes this idea of Jenna that doesn't really exist.
Okay.
He's put her up on a pedestal without actually getting to know who she really is. And if he really knew her, he would know that like their interactions are not long-term potential. And he's like, we're going to get married. I can't wait to watch you hang out in your pajamas.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And then Ben going to talk to Eddie about it when he was like, oh, I have a weakness. That was... Ben's 40 or 50 something. We've discussed it more than once and I never remember. But he's older than me.
Yes.
She came in those pajamas. You're being disgusting.
Yeah.
He is gross.
It was unfortunate.
I can't be on Ben's side for any of this.
No, I can't either. You're right.
He's like, he knows what he needs to be a professional and he's actively choosing not to be.
Yes.
Because he's horny? Oh, I can't help myself. I'm a man. Embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Right.
That's embarrassing.
Right.
I don't know. So, not Team Ben, not Team Eddie, not Team Jenna. I don't like any of them. Ugh. And what did you think about Captain Jason taking away one of her stripes?
I mean, I thought that was okay and appropriate. I was so kind of confused with the fight. The fight was so chaotic. It was all over the place. She was running around I had to watch it a couple of times to try and follow along where or who she was mad at or who she was going to try and find to yell at. Like my head was hurting trying to keep track. But then everybody got upset.
I just realized I still have all the things blowing right now. Can you hear it?
I mean, it's kind of like white noise, sort of.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm going to turn it off.
Okay.
We've already been going for 10 minutes. We're not going to redo it. But starting now, it'll be better. Just hold on 2 seconds.
Okay. Anyway.
I know. Anyway.
So Captain Jason, yes, I don't know a whole lot about, but I was confused. What I was saying was I was confused that everybody was just appalled that, right, she's walking over the back of couches and slamming doors, and which is whatever. That's bad, immature behavior. But they were treating it like she had just grabbed an alley cat and chopped its head off. Like, I don't, it was like very dramatic and huge for them. But also maybe they were all just so drunk that they couldn't handle it also. Yeah. So, I mean, right. We're not supposed to act like that in a professional setting. I totally get that, and I think it was okay for him to take that away. And like everybody said, it's, you got to open your eyes. This is an actual serious job that we're doing, a profession. We're doing a job here, and there's consequences. You don't do your job correctly or behave correctly, right? Or affect people around you. So, and I'm a big fan of consequence, so I was fine with it. I think that might be one of the first times I've ever seen that happen. Oh, really? Okay.
I don't remember anyone like losing a rank before.
Okay.
I know, right? So yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it happen before. And then I was also really surprised. I think the fact that it covered all three departments.
Sure.
I think that's where like it crossed a line. And I think at this point, Daisy is just so exhausted by how high maintenance and high drama everyone has been.
Yeah.
And Jenna, I think, kind of felt like, but her work is so good.
Yeah.
That it kind of excuses everything else. And it's like, well, you can't make all of this drama between everyone. And I think that if she had done all this but not stormed around and yelled and screamed at everybody, I think she would have gotten away with it. There's also men that have done the same thing and not necessarily, but then it's usually within their own side of things. Well, people have been fired. So it's like, I guess like she didn't get fired, but this is like, there's usually no in between. It's either like deal with it or you're fired. And then this one was kind of like middle of the road. So I guess actually her being such a fantastic worker saved her.
Sure.
Because maybe somebody else that had done that would have been fired, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're just watching her learn a lesson, and I think that's fine. I think that's good. I'm hoping.
Sure. I'm okay with that. What did you think of the whole fillet your own fish dinner? I knew it was going to turn out like that. I knew it. I am not on a mega yacht. I am not a person that goes to 4-star restaurants. I'm not a chef. I knew that was going to turn out like that.
Do you know how hard it's hard to fillet a fish.
Right.
It is. And here's the other thing about it. It's also a liability.
Oh, right? Sure.
Like, if he had filleted the fish and left a bone in it.
Yeah.
that would have been a problem.
Right.
And then you're putting amateurs in charge of it. The presentation amazing, but Daisy's like, we can't do that. I don't have enough people to do it. I don't know how to do this.
Yes.
I think Ben was out of line.
I agree.
Unless he was going to sit there and do them all.
Sure. Then that's one thing. Sure.
Yeah. No, that was
so bad.
Dumb. So dumb.
Yeah. And thank God Jason was up there sitting at the table. Can you imagine if he was not sitting at the table? Just total chaos. And then Ben is upset that the girls aren't up there when he goes up there. I mean, come on, man. Just, you created this situation and now you're blaming someone else? Like, no.
No, and he's so dismissive of Daisy.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't serve this way. We don't have it. I am getting a little frustrated with Ben. Like, if you think about the last season that we watched that had, oh God, I can't remember his name, and I really liked him. The chef that was also a clown.
Oh.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
I
can't remember his name.
Was doing like a few too many family styles, and then they like stepped it up, and he was doing they were wanting to do more white glove service and things like that. No one's pushing, like Daisy's trying to push for that kind of stuff, and then he's like skipping over that, and I'm gonna go to something that's nearly impossible. Like, I think I genuinely think he was trying to trip up Daisy.
Oh, sure. Good conspiracy.
I love a conspiracy. Allegedly. I think he was trying to be an asshole to Daisy. I think he was trying to put her in a tough spot. And they're supposed to be a team.
Yeah.
And in Daisy's mind, I think she's wording it really poorly, but she's like, I'm supposed to push you. Like, I'm supposed to, what's the word? I'm supposed to...
encourage or...
No, in a more negative way.
Oh,
like
okay.
a more like she's trying to get him...
I don't know.
Motivated.
I was going to say that too.
Is this what menopause is?
No.
Not yet.
Not even
yet.
Close.
No. I don't know, but she's like trying to be pushy with him and trying to like give him that pressure. Yeah. And he doesn't want that pressure.
Right.
And then I felt like this was kind of like a fuck you to her. Mm-hmm. And then also like this weird thing again with where Ellie is in the hierarchy of things.
Mm-hmm. And just standing out on the dock with people. I mean, I get it on its face, but I don't get it because I don't understand a lot of their jobs. So I get what I'm watching, but I don't understand Daisy's really upset about it. And it must be important if she's like, no.
Okay. To make this confusing.
Yeah.
I am at the same time, I've been watching as like my background thing. I've been rewatching Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
And remember like when someone would come and the staff of the house would go up and greet them when they're having visitors.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Chief Stew Daisy, but there's like kitchen hand Daisy who works with Miss Patmore downstairs in the kitchen. And Daisy doesn't get to go be seen. Like Daisy doesn't get to go be part of that. Right. In my mind, that's who Ellie is.
Oh,
She's
I see.
the kitchen help.
I see.
And in her mind, she's like, I'm a sous chef. I'm above these things. And it's like, no. That's not how this works. Although I think that Ben had said he wanted to promote, or is that in the...
That's coming up, I think.
That's coming up. I think he's just trying to needle.
Yeah.
He's like because he's British, he's more successful at his needling. Mm-hmm. I think.
Agree.
Ugh. I really don't. I'm frustrated because I used to love Ben. But that's because when Ben was doing dumb, petty shit, you're like, but he's young and fun. Uh-oh. He's a crazy young chef guy. And now I'm like, I know that you have run full-on catering businesses.
Yeah.
High-end. I know that you are capable of more, and you're acting like an idiot. He's too old to be acting like this. He should know better. And the thing that's going to make that cross the line and has kind of made all of this nonsense unforgivable for me is when he said that he has a weakness for this girl, for attractive young women, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
And you're just like, gross. No, that's he put all of it on Jenna. His bad behavior he put on Jenna, and I found that so off-putting.
Yes.
So off-putting.
But that's what our society allows. So that's what we do.
Ooh, there's a TikTok guy. That's who we should be talking about. I'm going to send it to you when I find it. There's this guy on TikTok who, the first one he did, he was like, people are not happy with Chapel Roan. They say that she's mean. They say that she's rude and that she yells at people. But here's some men who haven't been canceled that I think are nowhere near. Have you seen him?
Yes, I have seen him.
I'll find his name and I'll say it next week, because he's done a series. He just did one where he was talking about how Serena Williams, people talk about how she's rude and she dresses inappropriately, and it's like her body's totally covered. But all of these different things about Serena Williams. And he's like, and then here's some men. And I didn't know about Wahlberg. What's his name? The most famous one? Donnie Wahlberg?
Mark
Wahlberg.
Mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how he's beat up people and yelled racial slurs at them, with a piece, a 2x4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea.
No.
Awful. And John Hamm.
Oh, sure.
I didn't know that. And it's these guys who, you would never know that they ever did anything wrong. I did know about Jared Leto.
Oh, yes. Well, it's this, white man privilege thing. They get held up on this platter or soapbox or something.
Is there a documentary about Jared Leto and his cult?
I don't know.
He's someone that I, as far as I'm concerned, he's, canceled for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get that.
Are there some people that I have forgiven and let back in? Sure. Not Jared Leto.
No, I agree.
I don't care how beautiful he is. Is that all for Boat Show, I think?
I think so. Those are all the notes that I wrote down. One last note I wrote down. Daisy and Joao cuddling in bed was finally, it was like Jim and Pam on The Office kissing. I was just like
that.
I was just like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you. It was very cute and I liked it.
I love it. And he had he went up and he was like, I feel like you're hot and cold with me.
Yes, that's good.
I love their communication.
Yes.
I love how he's talking to her, and I love how he's approaching her.
I love that he looked at her and goes, this is my favorite so far, my favorite season. I am dead. You have killed me, sir. And I'm just a viewer. When he said that, I was just dead. Yeah.
And he's 100% one of those guys that's we've watched him grow over the seasons. I almost want to track down what his first season is and have you watch that. Okay. And you would not believe it.
Okay.
Because he was a drunken asshole.
Oh, I'm
mess.
Sure. I don't doubt it.
He has So good. Listen, everyone's capable of change.
Absolutely.
Everyone is capable of becoming a better version of themselves. Ben. So get your shit together. Oh, I know God. Eddie's going to get his shit together. I know Jenna's going to learn from all of this.
Sure.
Alicia, I don't know. I think she gets a lot of positive reinforcement about her bad behavior. Yeah. Alicia, I think she's going to keep on her path, but she's fun and a good time and beautiful. And I think she's going to get away with it for a while. And then she's going to learn the hard way, and who knows. Yeah. But I don't even think that she's bad. But then there's other people like Batul.
Right.
Who are amazing right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Who are great right now. Yeah. And it's we need more Batuls.
Yeah, I know.
But if they were all Batuls, would we enjoy the show?
Correct. Of course.
She's our little palate cleanser. Right? She's our cranberry sauce.
Yes, ma'am.
I love her.
She is our cup of coffee that we're snorting.
Oh my God.
That Smell out of our nose.
When Daisy was super pissed in the morning at Jenna. I think Jenna hadn't lost her stripe yet, and Jenna comes in. And she's like, go work. And she's like, just give me my coffee. She's like, go work. I'm like, oh, Mom is mad.
Yeah, Mom mad.
Is done.
Oh, no. Damn.
Eddie's going to do better. Okay. So.
He'll be okay.
What else do we have? We have, do you want to do Real Housewives or do you want to do the Valley?
Let's do Rhode Island really clear. Yeah. Speaking of people that don't act correctly.
Who doesn't act correctly?
Well, Kelsey and Rosie, man.
Let's just start there.
That's just like the end. The end of the episode was amazing, obviously.
I was shocked. Okay, are we going to fight? Whose team are you?
I don't think we're going to fight because I'm still team both. I still like them both. But I didn't think, obviously it didn't land with Rosie, right? The bullhorn and the teasing was not landing, and she should have stopped. But also Rosie went from like 0 to 1,000,000 instantly and couldn't stop. Like she couldn't take a breath. She couldn't stop herself and be like, you know what? This isn't going anywhere. I need you to leave. Where it just so obvious. They're both wrong, obviously. It's terrible. I mean, I like them both still, but Kelsey, I think, is projecting right to Rosie. I didn't like that Kelsey kind of put her arm up on Rosie and kind of pushed her back. Right? We don't touch people.
No.
But also, you know, they broke the fourth wall, and the producers, we see the guy filming
jump
crew,
in. He's like,
jump in.
Somebody's going to get
her out the door. Yeah.
In the door. I think it's the mom in us. Like when she starts, and then she had her arm up to like reach in for some reason.
Yes.
Kelsey, why are you reaching? And she's slamming the door on you.
Yes.
I was like, there goes her finger. We're gonna have, an Angie on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, I disagree.
Okay. I love this.
I am fully Team Rosie on this.
Okay.
Because Kelsey, I think, is pretending. And it goes back to, I'm going to bring it up again. I know I've said it 3 times. The dinner where she was like, this is the first time I've seen you be honest. And everyone's like, she means it nice. She means it. No, she doesn't mean it nice. Mm-hmm. That is, I saw a video, again, I'm back on the internet. I saw a video where this one woman was like, it's called, I swear to God, something is wrong with my brain today.
That's okay.
Plausible deniability.
Oh, yeah.
So when somebody says something shitty to you.
Yes.
But you can't really call it out. And they're like, that's not what she meant. You're taking it the wrong way. But you know that that's what they meant. This one girl was saying, what you should do is say, completely unrelated, I just learned about this new term called plausible deniability. And then where they're like, what are you trying to say? I was like, nothing. I just learned about it.
Yeah.
And then you can, right? Okay. So that's what I feel like Kelsey's doing. I feel like Kelsey, they both had their calls to their significant others as they're coming in for this haircut.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm going to bust her balls. I'm going to do this thing. She went in feeling like she has the upper hand. Also, I would not feel comfortable driving through someone's neighborhood doing that siren.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That I found, if someone came, granted, my neighborhood's not Rosie's neighborhood.
Yeah.
But still, that's inappropriate. What about people who have kids? What about old people who are going to have like a really serious problem?
Yeah. Agree.
What about dogs? I'm sorry. Clemmy, the dog. You don't go up to someone's house doing that. Could you imagine? Imagine your old dogs.
Yeah. No, I 100%.
That would fuck up the rest of your night.
Yep. Yes.
That would have ruined my old dogs. It would have messed up. I'd have diarrhea in the house.
Yeah.
It would be done.
So you don't think that Kelsey was like, we're trying to be friends and I'm just going to joke around with her. You really think it was,
No.
I'm better than you are, and...
Yes, I think it's 100%. She was going in and she's going to the house.
Yeah.
I think she's projecting. I think she feels insecure.
Yeah.
She's going to go do a service for Rosie.
Okay. Yeah.
Which there's like a weird dynamic there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she needed to go in and do something to feel like she was establishing herself.
Okay.
As she came in to be like, all right, I'm proving you wrong. It's funny. And that's the other thing. And we all know people that do this. When you do something and someone doesn't react to it the way you expect, or if like your intention behind it is to be funny and someone is offended or someone is hurt or someone at the very least isn't laughing.
Yeah.
You don't keep insisting to them, no, it is funny. What I just did is hilarious. That's funny.
Right. Yeah. Agree.
So that I didn't enjoy.
So are you over Kelsey? You're like, I'm done?
I'm a little over Kelsey. I think she's interesting. I'm going to continue watching her. But in the Rosie Kelsey part, I think Kelsey needs somebody to feel more powerful then, because I think she's feeling, she's in this new apartment.
Yeah.
She's not paying for anything herself.
Yeah.
When she was telling, she's like in the new apartment, which is fucking massive.
Yeah. With her mom and sister. Yes. Yeah. Sister.
And then Bill comes in, the boyfriend, and they're talking about like, well, who's paying for this? What else is, the mom is mortified.
Yes.
Mortified that he's paying for all of these things. And she's like, well, then who's gonna buy my car? I was uncomfortable. I don't even necessarily disagree with her. Yeah, he does owe her time, like alimony. They didn't get married, but like she did live the life that he had asked her to live in that setup. I think he owes her for her time for the relationship. And it would go vice versa. I'm not just saying that men have to do this, but I think that there is a little bit of like pride, and I think that like people having strong reactions to her and judgment of her, I think she did want to feel like she could at least own Kelsey or own Rosie in this.
Okay.
Right? Like kind of usurp that
fair.
And wanted to kind of go in like the alpha female, whatever.
That's fair.
I do also need to, one last thing about this, and if you have anything else too, but I do want to talk about the fact that two things. One, Clemmy did nothing. Clemmy was not helpful. Clemmy did not intervene. Clemmy is a princess, and she's really shown her true colors. I had a dog like Clemmy. It was a little fluffy American Eskimo, and I also had a big dog who was a mix, but he was like a 70-pound dog. Yeah. And there was one time that the neighbor's dog, I was pregnant, and I was walking my dogs, and the neighbor's dog came out and started biting us and trying to attack the one dog, my big dog. It was like a little wiener dog, but long-haired version. What are they called? A dachshund?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
It was bad. It was a bad little dog, and it was never on the leash. And I'm like freaking out because if my big dog decided to bite the little dog would be dead. Mm-hmm. But my big dog was well behaved. And the big dog kept trying to get in between me and the little dog, and the little dog kept trying to get after him. And I'm pushing it away, and that dog bit the shit out of my hand. I'm like bleeding everywhere. And then my other dog, little Bill Murray, the American Eskimo, walked away and was peeing on stuff and like kept looking over at me, and he's like, let me know when you're done. I'm not running away. I'm here. Just let me know when you're done. And it was like, the fuck? But those are dogs that you will love, but they are not here to take care of you, protect you. They'll cuddle you. They'll give you a kiss, but they are not.
If you're lucky. Yeah.
There's nothing else that they're going to do for you. And Murray, if someone came to my house and was honking on the horn, Murray would have been barking for the next 2 days. He would be upset for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So at least Clemmy didn't freak out like that. But I was surprised that turned into a minor physical altercation between these. I was not happy about the stairs. I was like, someone's going to get pushed down the stairs.
Oh my God, right? Yes.
And then she grabs her big old case and why is she pulling? Kelsey was pulling the suitcase back up the stairs. Why? No, leave. Go. The second that someone's like, get out of my house, you go. And she was like, no. What?
I know. What's happening?
Kelsey, what?
Yes.
And I think, like, it crossed a line into everyone's insane.
Yes.
It was great. It was so good.
It was so good. This is what Housewives is about, man.
But then, Kelsey also came back. This is the second part that we need to talk about. How Rosie's like, you've crossed the line. Like, she would have shadily said these things down the line at some point anyway, but instead it came out with her screaming that the only reason that she ever won her beauty contest is because her boyfriend paid off the judges.
Yes.
Also, she's been sleeping with married men. And she's a slam pig.
Yes.
Oh, had you ever heard the term slam pig before?
So I have, because
new for me.
It's a East Coast thing. I'm from the East Coast. I have heard it before. And I was dead when she said it. I'm dead. It was amazing. Did you see was it Watch What Happens Live? And Andy's like, name 3 other things you could have called Kelsey instead of a slam pig. And I'm just...
No, I haven't seen that yet. I'm going to find it.
It was so good.
Oh my God.
So good. Yes. Slam pig was amazing.
But then Kelsey's left.
Yes.
And then she gets out of her car and comes back and was like, I won that beauty contest fair and square. 10 years ago.
What? Amazing.
10 years ago.
Amazing. I'm in love. I don't know. I'm so happy with it. Maybe that's why I'm not over Kelsey, because I'm just so happy watching it. I don't know.
I'm
terrible.
I think I'm not. No. Here's the thing. I'm not over Kelsey. I love to watch her. I'm just not on her team.
I get you. Sure. I'm not going to make
team.
Excuses. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
not going to.
So good. So good. Okay. Now we'll go back to the beginning. Just the fun things. Alicia driving and terrifying her husband. Did you catch the point where they start to talk about the trip to Newport? And because I think she's distracted, I'm the same way. When she's like distracted driving, she asks her husband how the trip was.
Oh.
And it's like, Alicia, you went on the trip. You were on the trip, Alicia.
And did you catch when he was like, that was a stop sign? Mm-hmm. That was a stop sign that she just blew through. Not even a hint of a break to pause. Just blew through a stop sign.
She just goes. Well, now we know why she ran over that lady.
100%. Amazing.
I am not as bad as Alicia. I am a good driver. I am a safe driver. However, and Matt complains about this, I have to drive or else I get car sick.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking,
who
knows where we're going to end up?
Right.
We might be going to a Costco. No, I'm taking you to the middle school on a Sunday for no reason. Like, I go on autopilot and I'm driving safely, but the direction is lost.
Steve and I were talking about it. He was like, that's my mother. That's Darlene. Because Darlene would go, son, I have never been in an accident. I'm a good driver. He's like, no, Mom, you've caused accidents that you weren't aware of. You have caused accidents in your driving. We're not driving anymore. Like, she's oblivious.
It was terrifying being in the car with her. And then when I get to drive, because I'm like, I will get so car sick if I'm not the driver. We'll take your car. I'll go do whatever errand. We'd go, pick up her granddaughter and we would do all that fun stuff. Sit in the line for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's a whole different conversation we need to have.
No, agree.
Because they're everywhere.
Wonderful.
She she'd be like, just go. And I'm like, there are cars in every direction. She would just go.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, are you?
No.
That's why she always had to have a red car.
Yeah.
So people would see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
Okay. Then Kelsey's new apartment, and he's paying for all of it still. And if you're Bill, do you just go, you're just waiting it out? You're just
I think it depends on the guy. Sure. Like if he is confident in himself, the relationship, Kelsey, and he's just like, it's over. Like that's something I don't think about. Fine. Great. If he is a insecure man, probably not. So I think it depends on the dude.
I think he has to be, I'm assuming Bill is very secure.
Sure. I mean, he has to be at some level because he knew she was still sleeping with this guy while he and her are sleeping. Like, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we
know that open relationships of that are, I don't know if they're becoming more prevalent or if they've always existed or we're just talking about it.
Yeah.
People are
more comfortable. Sure.
Now everything's online, so you can actually find people to participate. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I do feel like I am so... Yeah, I'm so confused. It wouldn't work for me. And I don't totally understand Billy being like, yeah, I want her to have a car that he's not paying for, but I'm not going to go buy you a Rolls Royce.
See, exactly, right? Yeah.
I mean, good for him for being like, I'm comfortable waiting.
Yeah.
I also, maybe it's the competitiveness in me. I don't want to be second choice. I don't want to be like, I guess he probably doesn't see it that way.
Sure.
But like, I don't know. I'd have too much wrapped up in it.
I get that. What about Rue Lala and awkward Brian? My God, this man. There aren't English language words to describe this dude and how horrible that dinner was. And poor Alicia is just like not physically sweating, but just she has so much anxiety. I'm not telling Rula. I can't tell her. I'm not
She's
telling her.
She's like a little like high anxiety puppy.
Yes.
Like I just felt for her the entire time. And Rula, I felt for Rula the entire time. Oh, I know.
Rula, bad.
Rula is Nia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But he goes on this thing about himself, right? Oh, feeling a little chunky, so I take Ozempic. And then I lose muscle mass and I take steroids. And then I inject Botox in my face. And we're all the whole world is like, what is happening? What are we watching? And what are we listening to? First of all. And then he's like, I got to go take this work call, and leaves. And then what? You know, it was the girlfriend calling him.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Dinner. Making sure she doesn't show up, probably.
Sure.
I feel like there was, like, he was drinking, which, fine, he's at his own house. He can have a drink. Yeah. Have a couple drinks with dinner. But he was, out, not his normal self, because he had, I guess, maybe more than he normally has.
Okay.
And I think Alicia's husband sitting there like,
my God.
What wasn't Alicia's fiance sitting there going like, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
And just kind of along for the ride.
Yes.
And he's poking fun on it without going too over the top. But it was like, everyone's uncomfortable. And Rula trying to be like, help me with him. He's out of control. Oh my goodness. But you can tell she's trying to mitigate the fallout of what this dinner is. And Alicia's sitting there going, he's awful. Brian sucks. He sucks so hard.
So bad. Yeah. Oh, God. It was...
I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for her. And in the last episode, everyone had kind of been like, Alicia, here's our proof. So can you go next time you talk to Rula, you need to take this as her friend.
You go do that.
You're the one that's going to take. And she's like, I'm not telling her shit.
What do you mean?
No.
You want me to do that? No,
I don't want to do it in a good time.
No.
And then this is, and also I thought of Joe Ellen. Did you see Joe Ellen on Watch What Happens Live?
Maybe a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. And Andy asks her, he's like, we saw Rula and Brian on the show within a couple days. And he's like, what did you think of their appearance? And I think the way that he said that was like their appearance on Watch What Happens Live. And I fucking love that without missing a beat, immediately Joe Ellen's like, well, he looked sweaty and Rula has a new makeup artist. She looks amazing. She's like, his face was really red. Like, she went after their appearance.
Yes.
She went after their
literal
looks.
appearance.
Yeah. That is plausible deniability. Right. And it was so sharp and so immediate and perfect. I was just like, I fucking love Joanne. Joe Ellen is the queen of this show for me. I mean, I don't think she's like she's not like the Lisa Vanderpump. She's not like our headliner, but she's my favorite. She's my girl on the show. I love her.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So her and her mom.
Her and her mom was difficult. So, I mean, snaps to her to look at her mom and go, you suck. You got rid of me. And she said, the mom was like, because you were acting out. She was like, no, I wasn't. I just had boyfriends. Who cares? Like, no. And then the mother really upset me when she wanted to then explain her childhood. I'm sorry, this is not the right time, right, for you to word vomit your excuses. Your child is looking at you, wanting love, right? Wanting some sort of apology, some sort of kindness from you.
Acknowledgement.
And you can't do that without giving excuses about what happened to you. We don't care. I don't care as a viewer what happened to you. I don't care. So why don't you tell her that another day, maybe in therapy with a third party or something. But I got really mad when she was like, do you know how I was raised? Do you know what happened to me? No, we're talking about what you did to your kid, lady.
No, she took so little accountability, and she was like, I'm sorry if what I did hurt you. She also said that she was just so overwhelmed with everything. So she, in my mind, my interpretation, if it was Joe Ellen, I think I would have heard, I had a lot on my plate and I didn't feel like dealing with you.
Right.
Because she couldn't really say, she's like, you were out of control. And Joanne's like, you sent me somewhere that people were on drugs.
Right.
I wasn't on drugs. And
they were criminals.
Like, yeah. And she's like, you were out of control. She couldn't give any examples of Joellen being on drugs other than, and Joellen's like, because I hung out with boys.
Right.
At 16. No, I think her mom saw an opportunity to lighten her load.
Absolutely.
She felt overwhelmed. And it's frustrating as a child who's had been offloaded.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing because I have kids and there are times where my bandwidth is negative.
Yes.
And you don't shove your kids to the side to deal with everything else.
Right.
You push everything else to the side to deal with your kids.
Yes.
To support your kids, to help them through whatever they're going through.
Yes.
And it didn't really sound like Joellen was doing anything. And I thought it was kind of amazing that she was so open with exactly what she's feeling. And she wasn't pulling any punches.
Right.
But she also wasn't, I don't think she was attacking her mom. I think she was literally just expressing her her experience. And one of the things that she said was, I'm mean and I hate that about myself. I got that from you and I hate that about myself. And I was just like, I don't even think that she's mean. I don't think we've seen Joellen be really mean. She's referenced being mean.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's really mean. I think this is just more of this like self-image that she's going to have to work through with a therapist. That like her mom has told her she's mean.
Yeah.
Or, she's gotten this impression that that's what people think about her. And it's like, I don't think that she really is. I mean, I think she's a person who has to be really strong, but I think she's direct.
Yeah.
I don't know. My heart just broke for her. I love her.
And think about it too, because I wrote down, Joellen said, the person who you were shaped who we became. And I 100% believe that. Little kids aren't born this way, right? She wasn't, and she could have, Joellen could have gone one way or another. She could have learned to cope with all of this, doing drugs and committing crimes and, having unstable relationships. And she didn't, right? The fact that she turned out like this from what she came from is amazing and unbelievable. And I truly, truly believe that, right? You have a duty as a parent. You are raising this person to be whatever out there, right? And I 100%, it's always the parent's fault, right? My kids fuck up and whatever. This is what's happened for that kid to get there. And she is so lucky that she did not turn that left turn to, have coping skills and dealing with how her mother treated with her and her feelings about her mother.
And how she's raising her kids.
Right.
Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Yeah.
Who I do think is the queen of the show is Liz.
Oh my God, Liz.
Right?
Love Liz.
And Dolores isn't even technically one of these housewives.
I know.
She's New Jersey, right?
Yes, I think so.
But I love they're the queens, in my opinion. And so they got together. I was curious what your feelings about them.
Oh, talking about menopause and everything?
Their menopause and their menopause gummies.
Oh, I would love to have a menopause gummy, but they're not wrong. I mean, short of Liz got lucky and lost weight, where 99 out of 100 women gain weight in menopause, but menopause is no goddamn joke. And the problem is Western medicine, general medicine knows zero about it. And right, we get medically gaslit about it, and we get told, oh, you're histrionic, or you're dramatic, or you're emotional, or what you're feeling isn't real. Your pain isn't real, or right, the fact that you're not sleeping, that's not real. What do you mean you're telling me how
old.
I feel? Right?
You're just tired.
That's not a thing. And everything she said, all the brain fog and, the losing weight or the gaining weight, and I can't see anything and I can't hear anything and I've got night sweats and all, it's just terrible. It's 100% a thing. And whatever you can do to help yourself, please do it. I would love to take a menopause gummy. That would be amazing.
What are the chances Idaho's going to let any of that in?
Never. 1990, never, sis. Never. We're going to be the last state in the year 3000, right? Still holding out. So.
Well, it's loud. It's loud here in Florida, I think. Probably. It's in everything.
Sure. No, I get that.
I can't hang with anything like the CBD and THC. It knocks me out, or it gives me really bad, so I just have to steer clear.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because I want Liz's gummies.
No, I get that. I get that.
Hang with Liz.
And speaking about
what?
Well, I was going to say go to the valley with people acting crazy, but oh my gosh.
Well, and they're pretty open with their weed smoking. They
we saw that,
party.
Right? At the pool party, and they're ordering weed. But my God, it's just getting darker and darker and more uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I am on struggle street, even just watching it, even just going, okay, now I have to watch it. Like, I have to force myself. I have to talk myself up. I have to prepare myself. What are we doing?
I feel like they are in the Twilight Zone. They have created their own reality. It is... Oh my God. Everyone's out of touch and a little bit nuts. And then there's this other level of I'm watching it and I'm slowly... like where I was last year or last season, it was probably last year. I am now changing my opinions on people.
God, right? For sure.
I think that Janet made bad choices. I think Janet is in the working on herself phase. And I think at the end, I'm going to be back a fan of Janet. I was a big fan of Janet in the first season at the beginning, and I was like, I am Janet. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, she's so annoying. But I think I think her delivery is wrong.
Yes.
I think her approach is wrong. I think that she gets involved and decides that she's going to spearhead a campaign that no one asked her to.
Right.
But I think that Janet's right a lot. And someone said sometimes it's worse to be the first one who's right about something than to be wrong about something.
Yeah.
And I think that that's Janet.
Well, I would agree with your last statement, but I would not agree that I think Janet is right. So, I mean, obviously we all hate, Danny is not acting correctly. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. But my opinion is I'm not going to go as far as saying I think Janet was right.
I think she was kind of right about Danny, is what I'm saying. Like there are things that like I was like, we need to give Danny the benefit of the doubt here. Look at, he has taken accountability and he's doing things to be better. And she's like, no, he isn't. And he sucks. And now we're seeing him this season and we're like, oh, he's not any better than he was.
Yeah.
He was just hiding it well.
Yeah.
And I don't like, at the beginning of this season, we saw him not drinking at all. And so he was like kind of on good behavior. This drunk Danny is the worst Danny.
Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And it's so difficult to watch with Nia. I mean, clearly her responses, reactions, the things she says, obviously it happens all the time. You can see that this is an ongoing thing. This is their marriage. This is what's happening in their home behind closed doors. Cameras aren't running, right? And a lot of it is, I think, a little bit of religious church lingo as well, which is unfortunate. I really wish they didn't do that part. Not that I'm uncomfortable with religious church lingo. I'm uncomfortable that she is having a hard time getting her voice. That's what I mean. And relying on like a faith to give her voice instead. That's what I mean by that. But if Lala hadn't have stepped in, and from the little clips that I've watched for this week's episode, none of those fuckers would have stepped in. Nobody would have helped. Nobody would have said anything. From a couple of clips that I've seen, you've watched the new episode. We're not necessarily going to talk. We're not going to talk about that. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
what scene I'm talking about, but none of those fuckers would have said anything to him if Lala hadn't. And that is unfortunate. And that is disappointing as a viewer, because we have, as viewers, right, our opinions on what these people are, right, as a person. Right. And to see them not act the same way you think they are going to is super upsetting and disappointing. And you're like, really? But I had no problem with Lala, how she interrupted, because you saw her walking, right? You saw her stopping and listening. She would walk away, come back, because it wasn't ending. Danny was not stopping. It wasn't ending. So she would, right? We saw her do that, do a couple of passes a couple times, and then finally say something. But it's not okay for him to weaponize that, obviously, against her and yell at her and scream at her and call her names, Lala names, not Nia, after she says, "You're triggering me. I'm uncomfortable. Please stop." And everybody knows when she said that, right? We're getting, she was treated like that somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Everybody could put the 2 and 2 together and equal 4 on that. But, he's not okay to have his response to her that way either. And I'm surprised that Nia let Lala do that. I was surprised that she was just putting on her lipstick, just letting Lala go and not standing up for Danny, which said volumes to me as a partner, as a wife, as a woman, right? As a viewer.
Well, I think she had just officially hit her limit with him. Yes. Because when they were on the safari, and I don't remember if he was drinking yet or not on the safari. He wasn't helping get the baby into the
baby
the little,
was hot,
and the baby's hot, and she's stressed that this baby is hot.
Yep.
And she keeps saying, "Daniel, I need you to be attuned to me." Yes. Is that some of the religious?
That's a church.
Is that like?
Yep.
Jen is a heathen. I didn't pick up on that.
Yes.
But she kept saying, like, and for me, not a church person, she kept going, like, "I need you to be attuned to me." And in my mind, it was like, this is how we talk to toddlers. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
Yes.
Let's eyes on me.
Right.
And like, she's like, I'm trying to connect with you. And he was doing everything to be like dismissive and not make eye contact.
Yes.
And not be close with her. And it's like, it's also your baby. And when he's so frustrated that the baby is there, but also he wants all the babies and he wants more babies. But he also doesn't want to be inconvenienced by the baby when he's trying to have fun time. Right. I get that. As a parent, there are times. I just had this conversation with a neighbor. They have the little girl I was telling you about her, and I love her. And the mom I was like, oh my God, she's running around. She's wild. She's jumping all over the place. And I love it, right? It's like the same reason, like, I won't have a dog again. I don't want that in the house, but I'm going to say hi to every neighbor's dog because I love a dog. I love a little kid running around, having all this energy, but it's also like, and the mom was like, you could see it in her eyes. She was like, she's so great. She's so wonderful. And I was like, and she's a lot. Yep. She's a lot, and you're tired, and that's okay. And I didn't say it exactly like that, but we had this. I was like, you're allowed to like
not like it.
That's a lot. When this is 10 hours of your day, that's a long, tiring day. That's okay.
Yes. Yep.
And for some reason, Danny doesn't get that Nia is still dealing with that. Yeah. Even though he's on fun time. And so he's like, why aren't we both on fun time? And she's like, well, I've got to make sure that all of the things are done. It's so frustrating to me.
Right. And if she would have asked him about all of the things, he would have not been able to name off all of the things, whatever they were, because he doesn't do them. He doesn't do those things. He can't even put the baby down for a nap last week. There's no way he knows all of the things that she's multitasking in her brain right now to get the baby to not be hot and in a place where she can hand it off to the babysitter while they go to the zoo. So super frustrating to watch that.
And why was he not helping? Even Zack is like, can I put my soda on her leg? Like, if she's hot, this is cold. Is this helpful?
Yeah.
And Danny has no interest in being helpful at all. It was like he wanted to punish her.
Yes.
For
bringing the baby.
But also, he pushed for the other baby. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
So our favorite Instagram, TikTok creator, and I say her name wrong, and I deeply apologize because I cannot remember. Everyone's listened to how many words I can't remember. She's beautiful and amazing. Saron. You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
I think she made it up. The butter dish girl, which is when these women will go on the internet and they're like, for Mother's Day, I just got in a fight with my husband about who is going to wake up tomorrow. Mother's Day is also my birthday. So we just got in a fight about who gets to sleep in tomorrow.
Yep.
Or the guy that walked around the house and he was like, someone did my laundry wrong. And he's like,
yep,
that one went around for a while. The woman who gets on and is complaining about her husband being ridiculous at Disney. We're almost starting a fist fight. And then they'll post that where they tell a story about him being a dick, or they'll post a video of him being a dick and just being a shitty husband.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what are the comment threads? Leave him. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then their next video is them going, you guys don't know. I just posted that because it was funny. He's a great husband and dad. Right? But they also are going out of... These women want the validation that their husband's out of line.
Yes.
But they don't want to acknowledge that there is a problem there.
Yes.
You don't get to... That's literally having your cake and eating it too. You can't have it both ways, ladies.
Yes.
And Nia is top tier example of this.
Yes.
So also there's the whole thing of like in these very traditional setups, it's, you know, the man is the breadwinner, the woman takes care of the household. Is he the breadwinner? I think Nia's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that department as well. And I'm sorry, if you're a dad and you play with your kids, that doesn't make you a good dad. There are so many other steps. That is the fun part. And I'm sorry, how many moms don't get to be the fun mom that plays with their kids because they're dealing with all of the other shit?
Right.
So Danny's like, I'm the provider and I play with my kids.
And
because Nia also has a job.
Right.
That's pretty lucrative as an influencer.
Yep.
As a brand person, as a coach.
Right.
So fucking Danny. And I really did think that he was on a positive trajectory. I thought he had every right to be pissed off and standoffish with everyone. And then we actually see, no, he's exactly the same as he was, only most of the time he's quieter about it until he's had too much to drink and can't be. He even said something shitty to Michelle where he was like, oh, don't yawn, Michelle, because they'll label you an alcoholic.
Oh, right.
When they tried to have the dinner conversation because he took a nap. And I was on his side for that. I was like, he's got a bunch of little kids. Let him go take a nap.
Yeah.
Maybe he is tired. Maybe he did have too much drink. Let him go take a nap.
Right.
On a grown-ups trip.
Right.
And I still feel that way, but I think we're not seeing the fallout of Danny doing this over and over and over again. Only now we are, because we're 3 seasons in and we aren't having it overshadowed by Jax's bad behavior.
Right.
So
no, I agree.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
So what else? We talked about the big thing. The other thing is Lacy hashing it out with everybody this episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Lacy got into it with Janet, which turned into a whole fucking thing. Ugh. Jesse fucked that up. Janet's not giving a real apology.
Oh, no. No, absolutely not. And I appreciate Jesse saying that.
Yeah.
Like, this is why people hate you, Janet. And then she looks over at Jason like, are you going to say something? And then oh, well, you can't just say that about my wife. Shut up. Jason, just shut up. Just please don't speak. We don't really need to see you on TV anymore. So, whatever. But I loved Lacy wearing the Kathy Hilton.
Oh my God.
Wicker squishy hat. I can't.
We need to Google that. We need to Google that hat,
it's
actually.
So good. She's wearing the Kathy Hilton hat. Wonderful. But she handled herself really well with Janet talking in circles, Janet not apologizing, Janet gaslighting, Janet just zigzagging all over the place, and she was just handling it beautifully until Jesse fucked it up.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want you yelling. And then she is trying to force him into apologizing. He's like, I'm not ready to apologize yet. I think she wants things to be smoothed over. But Janet isn't where she needs to be yet. I think Janet is my new Jenna. I think she's going to get there, but I'm watching her fuck up. Right? Like she's falling up the stairs. So then when she was talking about how she wanted, they were like waiting for the car. They had kind of come together, found common ground, were ready to move forward. And she's like, I want you to peg Jesse tonight. And she was like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, I want you to fuck him in the ass. And she's like, oh, I don't even talk about butt stuff. So now you just gave me another thing to be offended by.
Right. Just,
I think it's,
I didn't think it was funny. I didn't like Janet. Janet thinks she's funny and thinks it's okay to make those kind of jokes, just like with Zack. You and I are best friends now. And Zack's like, no, we're not. Please stop doing that.
See, I think that's funny because they're obviously not. But I think that if you do it long enough, then you're like, I'm going to win you. I'm winning you over. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. No.
See, for me, it would work. Yeah. That's actually how I got a boyfriend once.
Oh my gosh.
I did that. That's a true story. I got really pissed off at my friends, invited their other friend, and he was late. And I called him on my friend's phone and I was like, where are you? We're trying to get into the zoo or something. And then I just kept making him hold my hand as we were walking through the zoo. Even though I just screamed at him. I had screamed at him for being late. Yeah. And then I just kept holding his hand. And then we dated for like 2 years.
I'm not surprised by any of that. Not surprised.
See, I am Janet. And I have this bit of like, Janet's going to get better. Why am I doing it like Bill Clinton? Janet's going to get better.
Don't know, but I don't have that faith in people and I don't believe it. And I'm not as happy like that. I just don't. Janet is Janet. She's too old to change. She's not going to change. She can be cognizant of her behavior. Like I've said before, we can know I'm spiraling, I'm yelling. Shit, I just said that. I didn't mean it. I'm going to stop, right? You can do that, but that doesn't mean you're a different person. And that's what I think that I'll give that to Janet, but she will never do that. Janet will never not freak out or say something inappropriate or lose her mind or even not really apologize. She's never going to apologize. So.
She's not good at she's still fake apologizing. Yeah. She's just learning the therapy words that make it sound better.
Yeah.
She chat GBT'd the apologies.
No, I agree. What did you think about the Michelle and Lacy talk at dinner with Michelle was like, you don't need to be in our marriage and you don't need to know these things about our marriage. And did you think Michelle was coming off kind of like overly aggressive when Lacy's just trying to talk to her, or what?
Everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
One, Lacy's hat. I just looked up the Kathy Hilton hat.
Okay.
It's a Lorna Murray hat. And they're anywhere from $165 to over $200.
Okay. Great.
For those hats. Cause they're so ugly that I'm like they're tricking me. I'm like, are they chic?
Is that cute?
Do I want one?
Right.
I'm gonna end up with one of those giant visors soon. The Florida effect.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, Michelle, this is Michelle's like showing everybody San Diego. And her husband who will not divorce her, and the woman who is trying to spend time with her daughter.
Yeah.
And they've had issues are there.
Yeah.
And she's just part of the group and she has to accept it. That's fucking weird. This isn't normal. This is only happening because they're on this show. They would not ever be staying in the same house together under any other circumstances. There's no reason for them to be all hanging out together. There's no reason for them to have a conversation. And for Brittany to sit there and force that down the river. Brittany, what the fuck are you?
Maybe you should have a talk. And then she goes, what do you mean it's my fault? It's not my fault. What are you doing?
No, they don't need to have a talk when everyone's been drinking and there's already been a fight tonight and everyone's on edge. No. And I think it makes sense that Michelle is testy. Not mad at Michelle for that. However, she also came real hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have said it like that. But she was like...
That's what she said.
Also... Everybody throws out shit that doesn't need to be said. Sure. Lacy being like, you said things that were really mean about my appearance.
Right.
My feelings are hurt about that. Okay. And then she escalates it to, and you pushed Jesse out a window. And Jesse's like, oh, we're going there. Yes, you did. Yeah. You did push me out a window. I fell out the window when you pushed me.
Yeah.
You attacked me. I was just trying to fold laundry like a good husband.
Yeah.
You pushed me out the window. No.
Right.
And then we get the whole story.
Right.
And his arm fell out the window.
Yeah.
Your arm? Right. And Lacy shouldn't be talking about that. You weren't there. And now you said he got pushed out the window when really his arm was outside of a window.
Yeah.
Like, that's inflammatory stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did we not learn from Janet? You don't just say the big things.
Yeah.
Ugh, I didn't like that. I was not on Lacy's side. I also really wasn't on Michelle's side. Why are we having this fight right now?
Yeah, agree. Super agree.
I do also think that Lacy is the most, like, once everything calmed down, because she had just been attacked by Janet, right?
Yeah.
I think, and then she was also upset at Jesse still, because he wasn't apologizing.
Right.
And then everything was probably wildly overstimulating, and then she gets into it with Michelle. I genuinely think that she had good points as far as, like, listen, I just want to move forward. He shouldn't be telling me these things.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying, like, she owns up to her part very quickly.
Yeah.
Lacy takes accountability.
Right.
And so I guess I'm kind of on her side, but she did make the mistake of saying some pretty crazy shit. And then peddling it backwards very quickly.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I get that.
And then they had another conversation the next day. I'm wondering if I'm talking about the next.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I remember what you're talking about. I remember that.
Yeah, and they're gonna be fine. We just want them to get divorced, and then everything would be better.
Yeah, agree.
And for some reason, Jasmine, I do want to talk about Jasmine for 2 seconds. This is going to come up next episode, and I think episode after we'll probably get even more into it.
Okay.
But, like, figuring out, I am constantly losing track of who is friends. Like, other than the main dynamics, who's friends and who's not.
I agree.
And next episode, at the very end, unfortunately, they talk about alliances in the show.
Okay.
And it's breaking the fourth wall, honestly.
Okay.
Jasmine makes a comment, and this is that I thought was odd, because it was right around the time that Brittany starts the fight, basically, between them. And Jasmine kind of goes after Michelle, and she's like, Michelle needs a boyfriend. Michelle needs a vibrator. I'm going to DoorDash her a vibrator.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was a little bit surprised. And she also, like, made a thing about how she's going to hire Jessie to be her officiant.
Yeah.
At her wedding.
Yeah.
And, like, she's needling at Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? That's like a little undercurrent of something weird going on. And I thought that was odd. Yeah. And I think that we're going to get into the next episode, the next few episodes, I think where everything is going to kind of unravel, and maybe some of these smoke screens are going to come off of, like, pretending everybody's cool and friends, and, like, there's a reason for these people to get together. I don't know that the Valley is going to, I say this all the time, I don't see the point of it. I agree. This point anymore, because there are so few genuine friendships. The genuine friendships that we saw were Janet when she was in the massage chair. Oh my God. If you have an Airbnb and you put that massage chair in there, that's genius. I would purposely pay extra and pick the one that has, I do that with big bathtubs. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I haven't seen one with a massage chair before.
I didn't know it went, like, backwards, sort of, when she was, like, being tilted up and backwards. I didn't know that they did that.
That looked incredible.
Yeah.
But they were all just, like, in bed having fun. It was very summer house. Mm-hmm. Everyone taking to bed together and giggling and having a good time. But, like, why are they just the four of them not on a little trip? Right? Like, why are we doing this giant couples thing? Kristen, poor Kristen, dealing with her first period postpartum.
God, right. Yep.
I do vaguely remember that. I feel like a lot of it I've blocked out. And I remember I had a C-section, and I remember being terrified to poop. So I can't even imagine what giving, like, regular birth and then having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That being, like, a thing. And then now dealing with her period on top of it, plus all of the other shit. And she's uncomfortable, and she's, like, wearing an adult diaper. Ugh. And then Luke. So here's the thing. The part when Luke comes up to her and he's like, you're doing all of this and your body's going through all of this. I'm just here. I'm trying to support you. And she goes, are you just saying that because your microphone's on?
Yep.
And he looks like he's been slapped in the face, because he was like, no, I'm trying to. I have a theory about this. If we go back to season 1, Luke seems like a normal person, right? Like the most normal of all of these LA people, right? Mm-hmm. And he seems like a voice of reason from the outside, because he's kind of new to the group, and he's like, oh, have you considered having a conversation and blah blah blah, and do you think that this is really something coming, like, he is a voice of wisdom for a lot of people.
Sure.
And he has great insight, and he's this very calming, centering presence for crazy Kristen, right? And now we're in this new phase where he looks like an asshole. And I think this is not an excuse. I'm not saying that any of this makes his behavior acceptable, but I think he's so used to being the person that goes like, Kristen, this is what it is. And then he, like, comforts her and he makes it better, and he's her safe space. And now he understands, like, he's verbally said it, like, oh, I can't totally empathize with this. I don't understand it. I don't have a handle on this. This feels insane to me. And so he's basically breaking down because what his role has been in their relationship and a lot of the point in this friend group is like out the window because he's no longer wise. He's no longer super stable. He's no longer the best guy in the group as far as like loving, good at sex, like all of the things that like made him important and worthy before. None of that fucking matters now. Like that's all out the window because you don't know shit about what her going through postpartum is.
Yeah.
I did not go through postpartum to the extremes that she is.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a full understanding of what she's going through. I didn't experience that. I can still have sympathy for it though.
Yeah.
But his usual go-to would be, he would be Mr. Sage, sane, chill, wise guy. And now that doesn't exist. And so like his go-to of trying to explain things to her and being calm, and it doesn't work. So then he starts lashing out and he's like, you're crazy.
Okay.
Like you're mean. Why are you're always being mean to me? Yeah. And I think that she is. But then he's later talking to Zack and they're like, and he starts crying. Zack is crying, not Luke. Because he's like, I just need that reassurance. And I get that, but also you got to get it somewhere else right now. Ring theory, baby. Yeah. Who's in the center of this ring? The baby's in the center of the ring, then the mom, then the dad. Yeah. Because your body's not going through it as well.
Right.
And your body isn't required to feed the baby. So that's my theory on Luke right now.
That's a good conspiracy theory.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I don't think it's real, but I like that it's a conspiracy theory. I mean, it tracks. I mean, sure, I can see that, but he's also not getting any better, right? He's not backing down. He's not helping. He's still pressuring her for sex. He's still pressuring her to go out. He's still pressuring her to do all these things she doesn't want to do. And to me, watching that, he's not learning or listening or whatever word you want to use, and changing how he's either thinking about it, talking to her about it, engaging in their marriage about it, right?
Yeah. And that stresses me out because I'm seeing her, and we just see it more and more. Yeah. I'm seeing her want to be like Danny and Nia.
Sure.
And so she's like, so I'm going to, the next day, I just want to be so good for Luke. So she's going to be dealing with her body, doing all of this. Mm-hmm. She's going to be out doing this safari thing. Mm-hmm. She does the zip line.
Yeah.
She's doing all of this, and she does the drag thing. He ends up winning to make him the prettiest. And she's like going out of her way in so many ways for him during this trip. And I don't know.
I don't think it's going to make a difference in the end because he is not smart enough to put that together and go, okay, now I'll give you something, which is backing the fuck off. So I just, men are not like that. He is definitely not like that. He's not like that. Did you see he and Schwartz were on Watch What Happens Live? Because Danny was supposed to be there. And there was a flop about, he has some movie he's filming or some project he's doing, and so he's not going to show up. And people are like, fuck that. He's not showing up because, right, he's a scaredy cat, and he doesn't want to own up to how shitty he is on this season. And then Luke fucking says, I can verify and vouch for him that he's filming. We don't like you or believe you, Luke, so fuck off. We don't care that you're going to vouch for Danny. But what I was going with was Andy says, one of the viewers asks Luke, right, how do you feel, or do you feel guilty about prioritizing sex over your marriage and Kristen's, mental health and her body? And how do you feel? Do you still stand by that? That was the question. And he pauses And you're like, are you kidding? That's a yes, because you're pausing. And then he was like, well, no. And then Andy kind of looks at him like, are you sure? And and Luke says, well, yeah, I regret, putting sex over Kristen. So I shouldn't have done that. It was a Janet apology. It was terrible. I mean, he doesn't regret it. He doesn't feel bad. No. Not at all. Not.
And I think the conversations that you're watching him have with Kristen, is she really harsh and is she abrupt? And would it be nice if he wasn't doing all of that shit? She could still be doing all of this and then after go, I'm sorry, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Right. I shouldn't have said that. Right. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I'm so sorry I said that to you.
Exactly.
But he's still doing it.
Exactly.
I can't. And she, I think, when all is said and done, I think we're going to see a version of Kristen that is much more like Nia and trying to appease him.
Yes. And here, I wrote this down. I didn't talk to you about this before we got on, but Steve and I went to see a movie this weekend. Okay. And I wrote down that this movie directly goes with Luke and Kristen because it's called Obsession and it's a horror movie. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I've seen trailers. I'm going to watch it when it's streaming.
Right. So the trailer is the guy is sitting in the car and he has like a candy or something and it's called One Wish Willow and you break it and your wish comes true. And he wishes that this girl that's in his friend group that he likes falls in love with him and is completely obsessed with him. And it happens. And it is a complete insane asylum movie, right? She goes over the edge being obsessed with him. And he, after, I don't know, a few dates or a few interactions with her is like, this is way too much. This is weird. How do I undo the wish? And how do I get her to stop? And my point is, this movie is about men trying to control women and their body. This is not about what the woman wants. He chose this for her by this wish. He chose her feelings. He chose her actions. He chose for her. It's not about him. It's about her. And that's what I see with Luke and Kristen. Luke is choosing for Kristen, right? Choosing sex, choosing going to therapy, choosing talking to him differently. He's not choosing Kristen. He's not making it about Kristen. It's about himself, but the control over her body is what I saw. And it's very disturbing when you think about it. I want you to think about that when you watch the movie, that this man, she has no choice. The girl in this movie has no choice. He took away her autonomy for him, for his selfish reasons. And she goes apeshit. And people around her are like, why is she apeshit? She didn't choose to do that. He did that to her. And that's what I see Luke doing and not getting it. He's not registering. He's just selfish, just like this kid in the movie, totally selfish.
And I think that's a good point. And if you look at the show, what happens when the choices can't be about Luke or can't be in Luke's control?
Right.
Things like she cannot even begin to think about sex right now because her body is so wild.
Yep.
Or the fact that they had decided that they are going to live in LA for another couple years and then they're going to go. So right now she just had a baby. She doesn't want to leave her community. She needs to be where she's at.
Right.
All of the reasons they've decided that, he's going to bitch and moan the entire time. Yep. So when she's made that choice, when the choice is not his choice, he's going to punish her.
Right.
until he gets his way.
100%. 100%. I mean,
I do want to see that movie.
Yeah. I did not have a C-section. I had a natural birth, although my doctor had to cut me. So I had an episiotomy, and so I had stitches. And so, like you said, going poop and bearing down or picking up anything heavy or carrying, bending over, all of that was terrifying and was very, very painful. And no, you don't want to have sex. You don't want something inside of you after you've been sewn up. Like I was actually sewn up, and it hurts. It's very painful. You get your period on top of it after you have the baby. That's incredibly painful. So, he has no way of understanding what that's like. And choosing for Kristen, like I said, it is not fair. It's not loving. It's not a partnership. It's not kind. Not at all. And he's not, like you said, learning from it. So
no, it's super disappointing.
Yeah.
It did seem by the end of it. I'm jumping to the next one. All right, we'll wait.
Okay.
We'll just hold it until next time. I don't know. Like I said, I think what we're going to see over the next couple episodes is that fourth wall coming down.
Yep.
Seeing what actually is happening under the undercurrent of these relationships. Who's actually friends? What are these? And the word alliances comes up, and I was surprised.
Okay.
I really was surprised.
Well, to see it, I thought it was interesting when they're in the main house and after Michelle and Lacy have their argument or discussion, right? You see the two groups sitting, like Kristen, I think, and Lacy, and can't remember, in the kitchen, comforting Lacy, and then Janet, Michelle, Brittany in the other room, right on the couch or in the bedroom. You physically see, there's a shot that they have in the show. And I'm like, that's a good, I like that demonstrative way of showing the alliances and showing the groups within the group. I don't remember, it was Jasmine with Lacy. I don't remember where they were.
She's probably back at her own house
somewhere else. But
I mean, yeah, it's who is really friends, who is really connected.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah.
And it's not clear right now what it is, and I think we're going to get a better
I don't think it's going to get better.
No.
So
I
that's
really
just
don't
my
think
vibe.
So.
I don't think it's going to get better.
I don't think so. And I also wonder, like, is that just our algorithm? Because I'm not seeing anybody that's team Danny.
No.
And I'm seeing more and more people that are like, Neil, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's your part in this?
Right. I was very concerned when Nia said, I have two thoughts about Lala, confronting Danny. My first thought is mind your own business. And the second thought is thank God someone sees it because I feel like I'm going insane. What that second statement tells me is Danny gaslights the shit out of her behind closed doors and off camera saying, I didn't do that. I didn't say that. You don't feel like that. He 100% gaslights her. For her to question how she feels, someone is not validating her feelings in that home, and that's him by telling her.
He's so dismissive of her.
Terrible. Absolutely
We've seen
terrible.
It from the very beginning when they were having their housewarming party. Yeah. And she's like, I'm trying to, like, here's all of these things. And he's like, won't get out of character and have a conversation with her.
Yep.
When they're talking about him getting a vasectomy, he doesn't take any of that seriously. Nope. And then he's like, you got to start helping me ejaculate enough. And you're like, what? Just, it's consistently him dismissing her while like his lifestyle, this like traditional lifestyle that they have, the religious structure behind it, all of that stays together because of her.
Yeah.
And the second that she's like, I'm struggling, I'm tired, I need you to listen to me, he punishes her for it.
Yes, 100%. And then you feel like a crazy person. You feel like and you're not, she's not crazy. This is actually happening.
But she also is going along with it.
She's also
she's
indoctrinated to do that.
Yeah. She's fully participating in it. And so you go,
well, then what does a person do, right? What do you do?
How do you want me to listen to you, but also if I say anything like that was fucked up that he's doing that, you're going to tell me to mind my own business.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
For sure.
the butter dish girl. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm interested to see what you think about this newest one.
Okay.
True crime story time. Whispers in the dark. Truth leaves a mark. True crime story time.
Moving on. Okay, I did not get rid of my social media, but we did get rid of Netflix. However, everyone is talking about this new case, not new-ish case, but they did a documentary on Netflix and on Hulu. I watched the Hulu one.
Yeah.
You watched both of them.
I did.
And I desperately need you to explain what happened in the Netflix one, because I think the Netflix one was probably a million times better than the Hulu one.
Yeah, so the Hulu one was about 45 minutes. Netflix was around an hour and a half, hour 45. So they did have a lot more. However, Hulu had a few differences, just in addition to, not that they counteracted each other, but just in addition to. I didn't care for the Hulu one. I liked the Netflix one, but there's a third one on YouTube that I really wanted to watch that I didn't have time to watch, but we haven't done true crime story time in like a month or more anyway. And so since Beverly Hills is finally crashed and burned, and we don't have to talk about Kyle, Dorit, or Erica again, I wanted to try and find a true crime story time to talk about. And this is on Netflix. It's called The Crash. And it was from a couple of years ago. This 17-year-old girl and two other high school, college students were in a car crash, ran into a wall at 100 miles an hour, and the two boys died and she lived. Ended up being charged with murder, 2 counts of murder and a slew of other charges. And it was super interesting. I do remember watching her trial. I do remember seeing it because it was just in 2022. So, 3-4 years ago when the crash happened, and her trial was in 2023 or 2024. And so it was pretty recent. But we obviously, as viewers, we don't get to see, the police investigation. We don't get to see these interviews. And so it was really good watching that. So what are your questions that we'll just start there with your questions.
I genuinely,
or just want to know what happened, I guess.
Don't understand. So I think I understand the basics of what happened.
Yeah.
The parts that I have missed that I'm seeing everywhere are kind of about this girl. She literally got to live with her boyfriend when she was like 16, 17, and her parents just like accepted it.
Yes.
The Hulu documentary didn't show anything about the parents, whereas the other documentary, her parents are interviewed.
Yes.
And I know that they're getting a lot of blowback. So that part I'm curious about. So will you start there?
Yeah. So this girl's name is Mackenzie Shirilla. And at the time of the crash, she was 17 years old. And at the time of the crash, one of the people that died was her boyfriend, Dom, and her boyfriend, Dom's friend named Davion. And so Dom and Mackenzie were living together. Dom is 20 years old. Mackenzie's 17 years old. They have been dating for 4 years. Everybody do a little bit of math. She was 13 and he's 16 when they started dating. And these parents, Mackenzie's parents, are being interviewed. These parents, when I say parents are responsible for how their children turn out, these parents are ridiculous. Absolutely, literally say, she never does anything wrong. And when we say, did you do that? And she says no, we believe her and say, good enough for me, and walk away. They literally word for word say those things. Literally. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck? So they allow her to move into her boyfriend's home when she's 17. They don't have a problem with her smoking weed. They live in Ohio. Ohio is a state that's legal, that you can, everything is legal in Ohio. And the dad says, I smoke weed. She smokes weed. I don't care if you smoke weed. It doesn't matter to me. So we knew she was smoking pot. We didn't care she was smoking pot. She's obviously doing other drugs as well, but she videotapes her entire life. Literally everything this girl videotapes. You see her driving with a gigantic blunt, smoking weed.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And her parents say in one of the interviews, yeah, we didn't really know she was driving and smoking. We would have talked to her about that. But you wouldn't have done anything. You wouldn't have done anything. These parents are horrible people. This girl is horrible because she came from horrible people. She had zero consequences as a child. They go in and explain the school has called her in several times, called them in for bullying, right? Bullying teachers, bullying students. Yes.
Teachers?
Yes. And they come in, bring her into the office, and they literally say to this filming crew, we went into the office with the principal. We looked at Mackenzie and said, did you do it? She said, nope. And they said, good enough for me. And she goes, we got up and left. Are you kidding? That's not parenting. This is why this girl is so entitled. She has no responsibility. And Dominic, her boyfriend, was very well off. Apparently, this city that they live in is an upper class, high end. People have money there. The kid had a recording studio in his home. Very nice home that was one of something on the Hulu documentary that they didn't explain in the Netflix documentary. And he was into cryptocurrency. He had a fashion line. He was buying Mackenzie Prada and Dolce & Gabbana and Chanel and buying her all of these things at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, and doing nothing. She was doing nothing in return, but this kid was working really hard. He wanted to have this hedge fund company. He had a fashion company. He was making music with Davion. Like, it was incredible. This kid was going to be somebody. But her parents were terrible, absolutely terrible. So she had no consequences for anything. And come to find out, since this documentary has aired, he has been let go. He's a teacher. Her dad is a school teacher, and has been put on leave, basically fired from his job because of the things that he said, the things that they found out from this documentary. Rightfully so. These parents are terrible. They show after she's convicted at her trial and is in jail, they have jail phone calls that they release between the mother and Mackenzie. And the mother is telling her it's It's gone worldwide. This story is in England. They laugh and they're like, oh my God, that's so great. People are dead. People are dead. And you have jail phone calls with the mother giddily calling her going, you know, your story is in England. Do you know that they picked it up on the news in the world? And they're ecstatic over it. This is the parent that is raising this person. She's also telling her, we will appeal. We will get you out. You're not going to be in there for very long. And Mackenzie's like, I can't be in here, Mom. I can't do this. She's like, we're doing everything we can. No, even the judge, the Netflix documentary. So she's found guilty. We've talked about this before. They have victim impact statements at the sentencing. So Dom and Davion's family and friends can talk about them and them not being in their life and the loss and what that does to them. And then Mackenzie's parents can stand up and say whatever they want to say. This woman stands up and says, my daughter's not a murderer. My daughter did nothing wrong. She's a good student. She had a bright future ahead of her. You took it away from her. The judge interrupts her and says, ma'am, all I hear is you talking about your daughter and not talking about two dead people that your daughter killed. I mean, this is the time. Thank you for the judge to actually interrupt her and say, do you want to say you're sorry? Do you want to have any sort of remorse? She absolutely could not. It was so unnerving and so terrible to watch. It was really hard to watch. And the Netflix, the mother gets on the stand in her daughter's defense and says, my daughter had a medical emergency. She didn't kill them on purpose. She has a medical situation. And the lawyer says, well, what is she diagnosed with? And the mother says, Mackenzie's diagnosed with POTS, POTS, which is what my daughter has. My daughter has POTS.
Yeah.
And they even explain when Mackenzie is in the hospital directly after the crash, the doctors do a complete medical workup on her and do not diagnose her with anything. They find no medical reason why she would have had that crash. But she gets on the stand and says, my daughter passed out. And that's why the crash happened. My daughter passed out. But they also show forensic auto investigator or a mechanic that went through the car and said the accelerator was down 100% the entire time. The gear shift was pulled from drive to neutral to drive, meaning someone reached up tried to stop the car. The brakes were never engaged. So if someone passes out and your foot's on the gas or the accelerator, your foot's going to come off, right? Because you can't put pressure when you're passed out and you have fainted. So that made no sense. But these are the parents.
That was going to be my question.
Right.
Because I knew that they had like the forensic auto person, but I didn't totally get the specifics of that.
Yeah.
Because there seemed like from the Hulu documentary, I was like, it seems like there's some plausible deniability there. Like maybe she did, because they showed the camera where she made a very safe turn.
Yeah.
And then it accelerated. Like
right.
She wasn't driving erratically. She wasn't
right.
driving like she had some issue. So I was confused by how I just feel like there's a lot of cases where they don't get convicted because of these technicalities.
Sure. Right.
And so the fact that they did convict her, what are the chances? This is my, like, you've got courtroom experience.
Yeah.
What is the chance that this is going to be overturned? Because they're definitely going to appeal. What are the chances that she could get out?
Netflix documentary said that she filed one appeal, and that appeal was denied. They already denied it on its face. And they explained, I think it was the Hulu documentary, that the only reason it got denied is because it was 1 day late for the timeline to file the appeal. That's the only reason, which is a technicality, and it is what it is, people. But the first appeal was denied. So the mother explains in the Netflix documentary, they want to appeal on the basis of wanting a new trial. And I told you last time that you have to have new evidence, right, that they didn't have before, or show that evidence was suppressed that the jury or the court should have seen. And the mother says the new evidence that we have is part of the prosecutor's case against her was 2 weeks before the crash, she and Dominic got into an argument in the car, and Dominic called his mom and said, she's trying to kill me. She's driving the car. She's threatening me, saying she's going to kill me. She's going to crash the car and she's going to kill us. Please help me. I'm in the car. Please come find me. So the mom calls a male friend and says, go find them. They're on this road. The male friend finds them and gets them to stop the car, and Dominic tells him, she said she was going to crash the car. She said she was going to kill us. So then you have a second person saying, she's admitting she's going to kill me with the car. She's going to crash. The mother says their new evidence is during that incident of them having an argument in the fight and Dominic calling his mother, Dominic texting his mother saying, I'm going to grab the steering wheel and I'm going to try and drive the car off. I'm going to try and drive the car. I'm taking the steering wheel away from her. I'm going to take control of the driving. Mm-hmm. Where the mother says, so when they did the forensic auto, they said the gear shifter went from drive to neutral to drive. That was Dominic trying to kill them, not Mackenzie. Dominic tried to kill Mackenzie, not Dominic trying to save his life. So she wants to put forth those text messages to get a new trial saying he admitted he grabbed the steering wheel to try and crash the car. I don't think, my opinion working in this job, I don't think it's going to match their merit that they have to live up to get a new trial. That's just me. Also in the Netflix documentary, and I can't remember if they said this in the Hulu, but Mackenzie opted for what's called a bench trial, which is just in front of a judge. There's no jury.
That was another question I had.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was like, the judge decided she was guilty? Because I was like, is that allowed?
Yes, it is allowed.
So that's what that is.
That is allowed for any crime, any felony crime, any infraction crime. You can choose. We do that on the daily. When they submit paperwork that says we want a trial, my judge will look at them and say, do you want a bench trial in front of myself, or do you want a jury trial with 6 of your peers? So she chose a bench trial in front of the judge. There are attorneys that have come on social media since this release of this documentary saying, hey, if it were my client, the clients are the ones that decide. We can advise them and say, we probably won't want to do that because the judge is probably going to lean towards the state. My advice to you is to get a jury. You know, we can do a lot of things with a lot of different personalities and a lot of different people. But there's a lot of attorneys on social media this week that are saying, hey, this was her decision. Mm-hmm. You know, her attorney probably said, don't do it, but she chose to have it in front of a judge. More than likely, she chose that because she believes she can manipulate them, because she believes from her parents that she does nothing wrong. And she can present, that was the other thing. She can present this, I'm just a little kid, baby doll, poor me. instead of what they portrayed in social media, which is fake eyelashes, all this makeup on, wearing her Prada and her Gucci. In her trial, she didn't have any makeup on. She barely brushed her hair. She looked like she was wearing a shirt from the Goodwill, right? She presented as someone that is not who we know her to be.
The end of the Hulu documentary also showed a video that Dom had taken with a friend's phone.
Yes.
Of her screaming at him that he had like locked her out and said like, you need to go home. You can't come in. Like you're not coming in.
Yes.
And she's like, then I'm going to break things. She's threatening him. It's all open-ended threats, but it's threatening him and she's like, I'm going to start breaking shit.
Yes.
And you just think like this kid, like he was, 20 and he's so in over his head with this girl. And you're exactly right. She never had any consequences.
Yes. Yeah.
That's,
yeah, they presented
awful.
that to the jury. It was basically this toxic relationship that they claim he was trying to get out of for the last month, I think, or so, and couldn't find a way to get out of it. And the prosecutor, the state believed that in the car, maybe he broke up with her and said, I think we're done, maybe on the way home. And that's why she crashed the car, because her toxicology came back and it was just THC in her, right? She didn't have any psychedelics. She didn't have any meth. She didn't have any, she was not high, basically, is what they're saying, where she really couldn't make a decision, or her motor skills were not working or something. But, they presume that he said, I want to break up with you. And that's why she went from driving normal to immediately erratic and crashing into the building. They also explain that when they come upon the crash, she is bent over underneath the steering column and alive, meaning they presume she knew what she was going to do and tried to protect herself by going down under it. Because if you're hit, right, if you have a blunt force impact like that, the boys, right, Dom's body was kind of spread, flailed about the front seat, right? His arm was hanging out a window, right? He was kind of laying across the center console. Davion was in the back seat. His body was thrown forward over Dom, right? Because they had no time to prepare. She knew what she was doing, and so she crawled underneath the steering wheel. Her body wouldn't have done that naturally, being hit full force like that.
Yeah. I remember them saying like she was underneath the steering wheel. I was like, how does that even happen? I mean, she's tiny.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She's
90 pounds maybe. Yeah. Right. Ugh. So all of that, did not work in her favor to show that she was not doing it on purpose. And that video was very difficult to watch, of watching the car speed by and then you can hear the impact. Super sad, right? The parents were warned that they were going to watch it and see it and didn't have to be in the room if they didn't want to. But Davion's parents, you are so in love with them because he and his two sisters were adopted. Mm-hmm. And he and his sisters are Black. His adopted family is white. These are the type of people you want adopting children because they're emotionally mature. He says over and over again, one, I just want to know what happened inside the car, right? Meaning, did Dom break up with you and you were, I'm going to kill everybody, I'm going to kill myself, right? Or just tell me the truth of what happened. And also, after you tell me the truth, I can forgive you and move on. Who says that? Like, this man, I cried so much every time this man spoke. He was just so incredibly wonderful and loving and giving, and really held no ill will towards her. And obviously, maybe to move on, you need to do that. But it was so incredible. I mean, he said his wife left the courtroom, went into the bathroom and vomited after the video because she had never seen it before, but she wanted to see his last moments. Like, it's so sad. It's so sad, you know. But that family was incredible. And Dom's family believed Mackenzie the entire time, right?
They thought that she was dead at first. They thought that she was just another victim in this situation of, like, what is it, an act of God or whatever. Yeah. And
I'm not saying they weren't sad or anything like that, but
they were
just
like
had a different,
supportive of her.
Right, perspective. Yeah. And they weren't really, the police obviously weren't telling them, you know, they were giving them updates, but obviously not telling them all of these things for them to even know. And so he said, I found out all of these things when we went and listened to the trial. And he goes, I felt like I was just kicked in the stomach all over again. Right. That I had been supportive of her. And he texted her and called her and FaceTimed her and Mackenzie, when I say her, right?
Yeah.
Making sure she's okay and going to the gravesite and all of these things. And he's just felt very blindsided that she...
It's so shitty that she literally has no remorse even now. And you go, this is a dumb idiot of a 16-year-old girl who's been raised so wrong, and it looks like it's just continuing.
Yes.
The
Netflix also has an interview with her in prison with the bun. So I don't know if you've seen those pictures. Okay, so they do an interview with her, and she's full glam makeup, and sits down. Everybody is very upset about her posturing. I don't know if you can, when I say the word posturing, imagine what a person, their body language is like, walking in a room very confidently, very slowly, doing things on purpose, and sits down, puts her hands on the table, sits down at an angle, and then turns and is directly staring at the interviewer. And he says, you know, why did you want to do this interview? And she says, why? I never got to speak. I wanted to tell my side of the story. And he goes, great. We're ready to hear. Tell us your side of the story. And she continues and says, you know, there's not a day or a night or a minute that doesn't go by that I don't think about it. And, you know, I don't miss my boyfriend and miss Davion, and right, thoughts and feelings is what I call it, right? We're not explaining. We haven't given a reason. We haven't told facts yet. We're just thoughts and feelings. This is what's going on, and this is what I'm doing. And then she says, I really want to tell my side of the story. And he goes, we're waiting. Great. And she says, I have no recollection of what happened that night. I have amnesia. All I remember is driving and turning the corner and then waking up in the hospital. And he says, but you just said you wanted to tell me your side of the story. And she's like, yeah, that's it. I have amnesia. And he says, well, don't you think that's pretty convenient that you can't remember that 30 seconds or 3 seconds from the time you turned the corner to the time the crash happened? No, it's not convenient. I mean, that happens all the time with people. It happens all the time. I don't know what happened. So it's very, you know, this girl is lying. I mean, she is lying, but she also likes the attention, right, of them going,
I mean, that's a lot of effort for you to say 2 sentences.
Right. And she said, you know, I'm not a murderer. It's all about her. I'm not a murderer. I'm a good person. And then he says, well, what about that social media stuff? And she's like, social media isn't real. That's the person I wanted to be. That's not the real me. And he was like, I'm not sure about that. And there was a lot of upsetting things she did after the crash, after she was released from the
first thing
hospital.
she did was like in the concert with her in a wheelchair, but with space buns and a bikini top.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing? And getting like, she used it to get clout online.
Yes.
And was trying to turn it into a like modeling influencer thing.
Yep.
Oh.
But she said none of that was real. I mean, that's not the real person. That's not real. And nobody believes that. Like, no, that's not a thing. While she was in the hospital, there was an issue with her Instagram. I don't know if you saw that clip. It was on the Netflix. So before she was released from the hospital, like 2 days, maybe 5 days, I can't remember. It was a very small amount of time right after the crash. Her Instagram gets a message from a clothing brand that says, we really like your pictures. We really want to use them in our brand. We really want to send you an email so you can promote our brand. What do you think about that? Her mother responds and says, thank you. This is her mother. I can't remember her name. Anyway, this is so-and-so Sharilla. This is Mackenzie's mom. She would love to have that opportunity. This is so great. And the entire message was how happy she is and how great Mackenzie would be doing, and how not the fact that 2 people are dead, not the fact that she's in the hospital recovering from almost every bone in her body being broken. Nothing was said. And then Mackenzie, like an hour later, responds to the brand and says, oh, I'd love to do that. I can't wait to work with you. Please send me all this information. This is what I want to get paid. And it is so gross. It is so gross. The mom, even during her victim impact, if you want to call it, it's garbage. The judge questions her and is like, what about that Instagram post and your response? And the mother has the gall to even say, she couldn't respond, so I was responding for her. What do you mean? I don't understand why it's a problem that I responded for her. Are you so tone deaf that you are so tone deaf that it was bad. This is the woman that it was so bad. So bad. This girl, she got 15 years to life for each boy's death, but they're running concurrent, so a total of 15 years. That being said, between 15 and 30 years, she'll come up for parole, right? But even Davion's family said, we really would have liked the maximum, right, life in prison without parole. But, I guess we can take what we can get. She's probably not going to pass parole board, or, she's young enough. She could literally get out in her 40s and start a family and be done. And that's what Davion's family said. That's not fair, right? And just move on with her life. Her parents can go and visit her. I can't visit my son. My son is dead. She still has her life ahead of her. Figuratively, she could get out in 30 years and get married and have kids, right? Because she's only 18 or 19 now, right? But unbelievable. I can't remember what people were diagnosing her with, like narcissistic, dissociative behavior. I can't remember a lot of that.
Grandiose.
Right.
Narcissism sounds like what I would say.
Yeah.
And histrionic.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah. The very careful, the narcissism, like the very careful curation of what she's doing.
Yes.
Online, while also clearly, like, she's abusive to her boyfriend. Yes. Like the one video that they showed, like, that's abuse. That sucks.
Right.
And I know that there are times that teenage relationships can get so melodramatic, but the way it was so far beyond. Yeah. Oh, it stresses me out. And what's crazy to me is so I didn't know that the dad, people had talked about how like the dad like didn't mind that she smoked weed. I didn't realize that he was a teacher. And also her mom seemed involved enough in her Instagram stuff. They didn't see her smoking weed on Instagram. She made posts that were talking about her doing drugs. And I'm terrified of, my kids are turning 13 in a few days. So I have a couple years before they're going to be behind the wheel.
Yeah.
It totally freaks me out.
Sure.
And I know that like we have a couple years and I'll get more comfortable with it as they get older, hopefully. Please. But the idea of them driving and doing drugs or drinking and driving, it's so like that is so insane to me. Even though like after I graduated high school, before I turned 21, did I drink? Yes. It was never even a flash of an idea that I would drink and drive, or that I would get in a car with someone who had been drinking.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a possibility to me as something. And these are parents that are not having their daughter under their own roof.
Right.
And know that she's drinking, doing drugs, driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, having sex. We're a sex positive podcast, but still,
of course.
There's like, come on, like no consequences. There's no supervision of anything.
Right. At all. No supervision at all. And this person is clearly a result of that. That is my belief, and I will die on that hill.
It sounds like it.
Well, and like with you, if you take out the fact that your kids aren't drinking alcohol or smoking pot, they could still get into a car with a driver doing that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary too, right? You have to hopefully have discussions with your kids to maybe not get in that car, call me and I'll come get you or something, or get an Uber or whatever it is at that point, but still.
And Mackenzie was not drinking.
Right.
And we don't really know the extent of how high she actually was. So, like, they could have said, like, she seems fine.
Yeah.
So they also have to know when a person is dangerous or not.
Right.
90 pounds soaking wet.
Right. 100%.
Tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Are you going to recognize that as a 20-year-old man? No, they didn't.
Right.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that at some point she gets it and is able to accept responsibility and take accountability for what she's done beyond just the fact that she's in prison. Because if she's in there and it doesn't ever click to her, then that's not really doing what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Other than it keeps us safe from her.
That's true.
But it's not reforming her.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be possible for her.
I don't.
To be. And I guess that's what the parole board is for.
Yeah.
Ugh. So crazy. All right. Maybe we'll have a new one for next week too.
I have one in the works that I'm going to ask you about. It's on Hulu, so we don't have to worry about Netflix. So
yeah, sorry.
I haven't watched it. I just heard or watched a trailer and it looked really good. So we're going to try this one and see for next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, and thanks for doing
Yeah, you already said you watched The Valley, and The Valley is just worse next week. So, yeah.
I mean, the drag show's fun.
I did like Zack wearing the breastplates. That was really funny.
Do you know what they talk about over and over and over again is how heavy it is?
Sure. 100%. Why do they not believe when people say that they have back issues or it hurts or right.
Stassi had to get a breast reduction because it was fucking up her back. I didn't know that breast implants have to get changed out every 10 years.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I knew that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with veneers.
Yes.
If you get your teeth done, those have to get changed every 10 years. So Brittany would be getting her boobs redone right now anyway.
Yeah.
She's due.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be terrified of getting something that big done.
Wow, yeah.
That has to be redone every 10 years, because what happens if you're not as financially stable in 10 years? What do you do, just to not have teeth?
Right,
at
true.
all?
That's so
I
true.
would rather have my snaggle tooth
I know.
than no teeth.
Right. Oh my God.
10 years of gorgeous teeth, but then no teeth? That's a good would you rather. Would you rather have 10 years of amazing teeth, but then after that you might not have any teeth, who knows? Or would you rather just deal with your snaggle teeth?
I would deal. I'm on your side.
I'm going to deal.
I would deal for sure.
Same with boobies.
100%. Same with boobies.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
And Tom Schwartz looks terrible again. My God. They made him look like Edna Mode with the glasses.
He's not an attractive woman.
No.
He's really not.
No.
And then it popped up on my timeline. They were showing the classic when they're in the drag and Tom Sandoval is like screaming about how he's a battered wife.
Yes.
And then Tom Schwartz is sitting on a toilet.
Yes.
But here's the thing that I didn't clock until I just recently rewatched it.
Okay.
And that is, in that moment, Sandoval has his hair pulled back because he had that Sia wig on, but he took it off.
Yeah.
He did have the white chunky highlights in his hair.
Oh,
and
right. I remember when he did that.
Regular man hair.
Right.
That looked more feminine
than
the wig.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
But you put that together, that it looked more feminine than the wig.
Just now.
No,
I was like,
okay.
His hair was girlier.
Yeah.
I have female friends that have haircuts very similar to what his hair was right then.
That's so funny.
Oh, he's the worst.
Oh,
I'm glad we don't see him anymore.
Oh my God, me too.
And Ariana, it looks like the house got sold.
Oh, thank God. Yes.
So it's over. And just in time,
Love Island.
Yay! We're so close.
I'm so excited.
We're so close.
Yep.
I'm so excited. Okay.
Okay.
Do. Okay.
All right, people.
Good podcast.
Good.
This is only 2.5 hours. Not even. I'll cut out a whole chunk of it where I'm fucking with all of the
and somebody knocks at my door,
here.
So you gotta cut that out too. That'll be fine.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and I love you.
I love you.
And we will do this again.
Okay.
Later again next week because
yes,
Memorial Day weekend's throwing everything off for us.
Yes,
but
we'll figure it out. We always do.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.